Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make these big crochet flowers. I'm using these as, I'm putting them on accent pillows. They're so cute. I love them so much. So anyway, you can see I have a little bit of an obsession happening over these. So I'm going to show you how to make these. And I'm going to be using Bernat Super Value yarn and a 5mm crochet hook. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, I'm just going to get some yarn out here to work with. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to start by making your loop. So you just wrap the yarn around your finger, cross it over, pick up this piece under and push a little bit through. Pull it to make a loop and then just put your hook in. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to make a chain 5. So you're going to yarn over your hook and pull it through the loop, and that's how you make a chain. So we're going to do that 5 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now you're going to attach the last chain to the first chain with a slip stitch. So you're just going to push your hook in that first chain that you made, yarn over and pull through right through both loops. Okay, now you've created this little ring. What we're going to do now is chain 2. And we're going to do 10 double crochets right into the middle of that ring. So you're going to yarn over your hook, push your hook right into the middle of the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first loop, yarn over and pull through the next, and that's a double crochet. So we're going to do that again. Yarn over, put it through the middle, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2. Okay? So you're going to go ahead and continue doing that until you've done it 10 times all the way around. Don't close it. Just finish 10 double crochet right into the middle of the ring. Just go all the way around and then come back. Okay, so now that you've done 10 double crochet into that ring all the way around, what you're going to do now is we're going to work in the back loop of each chain. So when you're looking at a stitch, I'm just going to put my hook through so you can get a better view. When you're looking at your stitch, for those of you who are not familiar with this step, you're going to see like a little V shape. There's 2 loops when you go through a stitch. So instead of going through the full stitch, we're going to put our hook over the top and just into the back loop. So that's where we're going to be working now for this next step. And we're not going to be closing any of our rounds. It'll make sense on the next step of the flower, but just for now, it's very important that you do not close your rounds. Okay? So we're just going to continue on right from here where we are. We're going to work 2 double crochets in the back loop of every stitch. To hold your place, you might want to take the little tail end and fold it over there so you know where your beginning and end is. It could be a little extra tricky since we're not going to be closing our rounds. Okay? Okay. So this right here was our chain 2 that we started with. We're going to just skip right over that and go into the back loop of our first stitch. So you're going to yarn over your hook, go into the back loop, and we're going to work 2 double crochets. Okay, so that's 1. We're going to do another one in that very same back loop, and we're only going to be working on the back loops. And you're going to do 2 in the next back loop. And you're just going to go ahead and do that all the way around in every single stitch and then come back. So once you've done 2 double crochets in the back loop of every stitch all the way around, come back. And remember, don't close your rounds. Okay, so now that you're back at the start again, I'll remind you, we're not closing our rounds. We're going to continue on. So the next step is we're going to do 2 double crochet in the back loop of the first stitch, Okay, and in the next one we're going to do 1. So 1 double crochet in the back loop of that next stitch. Now in the following we're going to do 2 again. And in the one after that, we're going to do 1. So you're going to go ahead and follow this alternating pattern all the way around. So you're going to do 2 in this back loop, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way till you get back to the start and then come back. Okay, so now you should be back at the start, and if you want to do a little stitch check, you should have a total of 30 stitches by now. Okay, so now let's move on to the next step. So now we're going to do 2 double crochet in the back loop of the first stitch. Okay, and we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next, in the back loop of the next. And we're going to do 1 double crochet in the back loop of the following. Sorry, I missed a little. Okay, and now you're going to do 2 double crochet in the next one, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, and you're going to continue that alternating pattern all the way around, and by the time that you finish that round you should have 40 stitches. Okay, so go ahead, finish that off and then come back. Okay, so now that you've made your way around and you're back at the start, you're going to close with a slip stitch into the entire stitch here. So you're just going to push your hook right through, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Pull a little bit of extra yarn out like this and fasten it off. I forgot to grab my scissors, so I'll have to pause and go get them, but just give it a little snip right there to fasten it off and then come back. So for this next step, you're going to take a new piece of yarn, make your loop again. You don't need a long tail at all. Okay, and then you're going to take your hook and find the very first stitch. And now we're going to be working in all of these front loops. Okay, so just put your hook into that very first front loop stitch and reattach your yarn. And now we're going to work on the petals. So you're going to pull that loop through, chain 1. Okay, so that's just to attach it. So now you're going to do a single crochet, chain 3, and we're going to do a treble crochet into that same stitch. So to do a treble crochet, you're going to yarn over your hook twice, and you're going to push your hook in that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. Okay, now we're going to do another treble crochet into the next front loop stitch. We're going to do this twice into this stitch. Okay, so we're going to do another treble crochet in that very same stitch that we just worked in. Okay, now we're going to do one more treble crochet into the third stitch. So each petal you're going to occupy 3 stitches. Okay, Now you're going to chain 3 on top of this last treble crochet, and you're going to single crochet in that very same stitch to finish off your petal. Okay, so that's your first petal. So you're now just going to repeat that by starting with a single crochet, chain 3. Let's do one more together actually, okay? So single crochet into that next stitch there, so the first of the next 3, okay? So single crochet. Now we're going to chain 3. This gives us the height of the treble crochet. Okay, now we're going to do a treble crochet in the same stitch. Two treble crochet in the next stitch. Let me get some more yarn here. Okay, so I did one, I gotta do one more in that stitch. And then in our third stitch, we're gonna do our last treble crochet, chain 3 on top of that treble crochet, and then we're going to bring the chain 3 down by doing a single crochet to end that petal. Okay, so now you've got 2. So you are just going to continue on around all the way until you get up here, and then you're going to do these petals in the stitches all the way around the very edge. And you're just going to end off by closing with a slip stitch and fasten off. That's it. It's very repetitive from here. Okay? And when you're done, you'll end up with a flower that looks like this. Okay? So you can see I literally did the petals right down to the very last stitch. So I worked in every single front loop all the way. I followed all the circles, working in all of these front loops here all the way. And when you get to the very last front loop here, I just skipped this little gap, and I continued on making my petals in every stitch all the way around the edge. It just makes it like so full. So when you're looking at your little base here, it looks like, okay, I'm not going to end up with a flower that's the right size, but you will. You can see here. What makes it this big is because I continued with the petals right around the very edge. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to click subscribe to see more videos as they get posted.